Closer.
Please, anything.
Ill-managed, she muttered to herself. She turned to leave. Behind her, the man spoke again.
How will you go home now?
Wait, did I tell you it was my transport fare?
God hasn't abandoned you, Elia. But you walk around with the spirit of poverty without knowing it.
Huh? How did you know my name and all these? Who are you?
Elia learned how to pray before she learned how to dream. Prayer came early in her life, before ambition, before plans, before the idea that life could be built instead of endured. As a child, prayer meant safety. As an adult, it became habit, steady, familiar, dependable. Every morning before the city woke, Elia knelt beside her bed. No drama, no raised voice, just folded hands and a bowed head. Lord, deliver me from poverty. She said it every day. The same words, the same calm tone, as if consistency itself was faith. Elia never doubted that God listened. What she quietly doubted was when he would answer, and later always felt safer than now. Later required patience, now required change. She worked, she showed up, she did what was asked of her. She believed that was enough. If God wanted her to have more, she thought he would give it, cleanly, without struggle, without asking her to stretch beyond who she already was. To Elia, God's provision had a clear pattern. A friend sending money unexpectedly, a call that came just in time, a bill settled without explanation. Those moments felt holy, untouched by effort, proof that heaven was active. Work felt ordinary, learning new skills felt like striving, planning felt like doubt, saving felt unnecessary when God promised daily bread. Elia believed life was short. People died every day. Why chase money when tomorrow was never guaranteed? Jesus wasn't rich, she reminded herself. The apostles left everything. That belief settled her whenever discomfort tried to rise. It gave spiritual meaning to staying small. What Elia didn't consider was that Jesus knew exactly how long he had on earth. She didn't. Still, her faith looked admirable. She didn't complain. She didn't chase appearances. She didn't beg. People noticed. She's content. She's faithful. She has a good heart. Elia accepted the words easily. She was known as a giver. If someone needed help, she gave. If a church member was short, she had just her own needs. If a friend asked, she reached into her purse without calculation. Giving made her feel close to God. Useful. Secure. Sometimes she noticed her money disappeared faster than it came. Sometimes meals stretched longer than they should have. Sometimes a quiet thought surfaced. This could be better. She pushed it away. Wanting more felt dangerous. Desire felt unspiritual. So she prayed again. Lord, deliver me from poverty. Elia didn't realize she wasn't asking God to change her situation. She was asking him to bless her without touching her comfort. And heaven listened. Not with anger. Not with refusal. With patience. Waiting for the moment prayer would stop replacing movement and start directing it. Elia's days followed a steady pattern. Wake, pray, work, give, sleep. At the office, she was dependable. Never late. Never careless. She did exactly what her role required. Nothing more, nothing less. Her work was clean, her desk orderly, her presence calm. People trusted her. The manager often praised her in meetings. Not loudly, but enough for others to notice. Elia received the praise with a small nod and returned to her seat. Heart quiet, posture humble. Favor felt natural to her. Like confirmation. She didn't push for promotion. Didn't volunteer for extra responsibility. Didn't ask questions about growth paths or advancement. She believed that if God wanted her lifted, he would do it without her reaching. Rebecca worked 2 desks away. Rebecca was not as expressive about faith. She didn't quote scripture at work. Didn't talk much about prayer. But she was alert, always watching, always learning. During lunch breaks, Rebecca scrolled through her phone with purpose. Look at this, she said one afternoon, turning the screen toward Elia. They're offering free training for remote work. It's tough, but it pays well later. Elia glanced at the screen briefly. That's nice, she said. I'll pray about it. Rebecca waited as if expecting more. Elia smiled politely and returned to her food. She forgot about the training before the day ended. Weeks later, Rebecca mentioned another opportunity. Someone shared a link for an online certification, she said. It could open doors. Elia nodded again. Sounds good. Maybe later. Later always sounded reasonable. Elia believed she was content, but contentment for her had become a hiding place. When Rebecca stayed late to learn, Elia went home early. When Rebecca applied, Elia waited. When Rebecca planned, Elia prayed. And prayer made her feel productive. She often told herself believers don't need to accumulate so much. She repeated it until it felt like truth. Jesus lived simply. The apostles left everything. Those thoughts comforted her whenever discomfort tried to rise. But comfort is dangerous when it starts to feel like obedience. Elia did not see the small withdrawals she was making from her future. She only saw the peace of staying where she was. And for a while, peace felt enough. Adam was used to being wanted. He didn't chase attention. Followed him. Women laughed longer around him. They leaned closer when he spoke. He knew the effect he had. He wore it easily. Elia noticed him the first week. The way he carried himself. The confidence. The way conversations bent toward him. She prayed about the attraction before she even admitted it to herself. Lord, keep my heart steady. At first, Adam approached casually, light conversations, teasing remarks, shared jokes during lunch break. He would lean against her desk, close enough to feel present but not invasive. You're too serious, he told her once, smiling. Relax a little. Elia smiled back. I am relaxed. He liked that she didn't giggle, didn't perform, didn't flatter him. That made her interesting. The first time he touched her hand, it was disguised as accident. She pulled back gently. He noticed. The second time wasn't an accident. It was a pause that lasted too long. Elia, he said softly.
Hey, you can't resist this charm, can you?
Oh, please, you're so full of it.
Admit it, everyone wants a piece. Hey, gotcha!
Adam, please excuse me.
Scared of me?
No, I just need to go.
Why do you act like you're scared of me?
I'm not scared.
Then what?
She held his gaze longer than he expected.
I have boundaries.
Boundaries from what?
From anything that doesn't honor God.
That answer shifted something. Adam leaned back slightly, studying her. So this is about religion? It's about conviction. He smirked. You know you can believe in God and still enjoy life. She didn't argue. She didn't preach. My body isn't casual to me, she said. I don't do intimacy before marriage. The room went quiet between them. Adam wasn't offended yet. Just surprised. You're attracted to me, he said confidently. I can see it. Elia didn't deny it. That doesn't mean I compromise. There it was. Not rejection of him as a man. Rejection of access. Adam had never been denied because of belief before. It wasn't that she didn't want him. It was that something invisible stood between them, and that irritated him. He masked it with humor at first.
Strict? So your God is that strict?
No, he's not, but I am.
That response bruised him more than she knew. After that, his tone shifted. Jokes became sharper. Comments lingered longer. He'd tease her during meetings. Careful, Elia might pray us into promotion. Laughter followed. She stayed steady. What she didn't know was this. Adam's pride wasn't the only thing wounded. His curiosity had deepened. His attraction hadn't left. But now it carried frustration. And frustration looks a lot like hostility when it doesn't get what it wants. One evening, as most employees left, Adam cornered her near the exit.
You really think I'm not good enough for you, huh?
I didn't say that.
Then what are you saying? I'm saying I don't build my life on feelings. He stepped closer. And what if I want more than feelings? She didn't step back. She didn't smile. Then want someone who wants the same things. He reached for her face, testing her limit. The slap came fast. Adam froze. The hallway felt smaller. He touched his cheek, stunned, not by pain but by disbelief.
I guess you're tired of working here.
It wasn't shouted. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Dangerous. Elia walked past him without responding. That night, she prayed harder than usual. Lord, protect my job. The next morning, an envelope waited on her desk. No explanation. No meeting. Just termination. And in the silence that followed, she was sure of one thing. Adam had done this. She didn't know that somewhere else in the building, Naomi was watching quietly. And Adam, touching the faint sting on his cheek, believed she had chosen pride over him. Both were wrong. And the spirit of poverty, quiet, patient, was about to deepen its hold. Naomi had the kind of smile that lasted half a second too long. She sat across from Elia. Shared snacks. Shared complaints. Shared gossip, carefully edited. Elia, you're too quiet, she would say. If you don't talk, people will think you're proud. Elia trusted her. Naomi laughed at the same jokes. Rolled her eyes at the same frustrations. Complained about the manager the same way everyone did. The manager was strict. Bald. Sensitive about it. One afternoon during a slow hour, Naomi leaned closer. Have you noticed how he polishes his head more than the table? She whispered. Elia chuckled despite herself. He says it reflects wisdom, Naomi added. Elia laughed lightly. Maybe that's why it shines so much. They both laughed. Naomi's phone sat face down on the desk. Recording. Elia didn't know. She thought it was harmless. Two co-workers joking in a tired moment. Nothing malicious. Nothing strategic. But Naomi wasn't laughing from humor. She was calculating. Naomi had been compared to Elia too many times. Why can't you be more like Elia? The manager once said. She's disciplined. That comparison stayed with Naomi. Stung deeper than it should have. And Adam barely noticed Naomi. He noticed Elia. Even when he mocked her. Even when he irritated her. His attention bent toward her. Naomi saw it. For her, even his teasing would have been affection. For Elia, it was offense. That made it worse. 2 days before Elia was dismissed, Naomi stood in the manager's office.
I don't want to cause trouble, but I feel uncomfortable.
About what?
Elia doesn't respect you.
That's a bold claim.
I didn't want to say anything, Naomi continued softly. But she jokes about you. About your head. She laughs at you behind your back. The manager's jaw tightened. Do you have proof? Naomi's hand trembled just enough as she unlocked her phone. Yes. She pressed play. Laughter filled the office. Elias' voice. Clear. Unfiltered. The manager listened without expression. When the recording ended, Naomi lowered her eyes. I'm sorry, she whispered. I just thought you should know. The manager dismissed her quietly. No confrontation. No public embarrassment. Just a decision. The next morning, Elia received the envelope. No explanation. She assumed Adam had followed through on his threat. Adam assumed she had quit after slapping him. Neither knew Naomi had walked back to her desk that day and typed emails as if nothing had happened. Naomi even hugged Elia that afternoon before she left. Whatever happens, I'm here for you, she said. Elia hugged her back. I know. By evening, Elia's desk was empty. Naomi watched her walk out. Not smiling, not celebrating, just breathing easier. For the first time in months, she felt like the comparison had ended. What she didn't understand was this. She hadn't removed Elia. She had removed the shield that was about to expose her own emptiness. And Elia, walking home with the envelope in her bag, believed her problem had a name. Adam. She didn't yet see that the greater problem had been living quietly inside her long before the recording was ever pressed. That evening, she prayed longer than usual. Lord, you know I did nothing wrong. Silence. She expected a call, expected clarification, expected reversal. None came. The first week felt manageable. She still had savings. Not much, but enough to survive carefully. She made a list. Transport, food, rent, utilities. She cut everything unnecessary. No extra airtime, no small snacks, no weekend visits. She told herself it was temporary. She applied to 3 jobs the second week. Each application took effort. Updating her CV felt strangely exhausting. She realized she hadn't added anything new in years. Under skills, she stared at the same line she had written long ago. Nothing recent. Nothing expanding. She felt a flicker of discomfort. She ignored it. The rejection emails came politely. We regret to inform you. She refreshed her inbox more often than she prayed. The third week, the savings number dropped lower than she liked. She opened her banking app at night just to look at the remaining balance. As if watching it closely would prevent it from shrinking. It shrank anyway. She called Rebecca, not directly asking for money, just talking. I've applied to a few places, Elia said carefully. That's good, Rebecca replied. Keep trying. There was a pause. Rebecca continued. Things are tight here too. My husband is working on something big. We're reinvesting most of it. Elia nodded, though Rebecca couldn't see her. I understand. But she didn't. She remembered the time she had given Rebecca transport money without hesitation. She remembered paying for meals. She remembered covering small needs. Now Rebecca sounded distant, focused, busy. Elia ended the call with a smile in her voice. Afterwards, she sat still for a long time. Lord, she whispered, is this how it ends? The fourth week, she stopped cooking twice a day. Once was enough. She told herself fasting was spiritual. It wasn't. It was rationing. One evening, she opened her Bible to read and found her eyes drifting. The words blurred. Not because she didn't believe them, but because they felt far from her. She closed it gently. That night she drank. Not much. Just enough to silence the thoughts. The alcohol burned going down. She coughed slightly. She wasn't used to it. Just tonight, she told herself. The next morning, she woke with a headache and a heavier heart. Her phone was quiet. No calls. No, how are you holding up? No, I felt led to check on you. People she had helped were silent. The silence hurt more than the money. By the fifth week, her savings were nearly gone. She stared at the number. It felt like watching water drain from a cracked container. She thought of all the time she had prayed against poverty. And now poverty was not a prayer point. It was a presence. She knelt that night with anger in her voice. Lord, I was faithful. I gave. I served. Why am I the one struggling? She waited. Nothing. No sudden deposit. No message from heaven. No comfort. For the first time in years, she felt something dangerous. Abandonment. Maybe she had misunderstood everything. Maybe God helped others more. Maybe Rebecca was simply wiser. Maybe prayer was not enough. The thought scared her, but it did not leave. And somewhere deep inside her, the spirit of poverty tightened its grip. Not because money was gone, but because hope was starting to shrink. Elia almost didn't go to church that morning. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, listening to distant traffic. The thought of dressing up, smiling, greeting people, it exhausted her. What would she say if someone asked how she was? God is faithful. Felt heavy on her tongue. For a moment, she considered staying home. No offering, no small talk, no pretending, but habit pulled her up. She bathed, dressed simply, checked her purse. Just enough money for transport there and back. Nothing more. During worship, she sang quietly, her voice thinner than usual. When the offering basket moved down the row, she felt her chest tighten. She didn't reach into her purse. The basket passed. Her hand stayed still. The shame surprised her. She had never sat through an offering without giving something, even coins. Today she had nothing to spare. After service, she avoided long conversations and walked toward the road where buses passed. The sun was hot, the air thick. As she approached the spot where she normally waited for transport, she saw him. A man on the ground, thin, dust on his clothes, one leg twisted awkwardly beneath him. He moved by dragging himself forward slowly, palms pressing into concrete. He reached toward her. Sister, he said hoarsely.
Please, ma'am, anything to eat?
Oh, I wish I could help. I'm so sorry.
Please, I'm hungry.
She didn't even give offering today. She had only transport money. If she gave it, she would have to walk home. She stepped around him. He shifted, crawling slightly closer.
Please, anything.
Ill-managed, she muttered to herself. She turned to leave. Behind her, the man spoke again.
How will you go home now?
Wait, did I tell you it was my transport fare?
God hasn't abandoned you, Elia. But you walk around with the spirit of poverty without knowing it.
Huh? How did you know my name and all these? Who are you?
I am a pauper whom you just sacrificed your comfort to aid. So listen, the spirit of poverty in you makes you doubt opportunities. You procrastinate and cover it with prayers, with faith, but deep inside you know you're not acting.
You think being a giver is enough. Her jaw tightened. It's what God asks. Yes, he nodded. But God also asks you to multiply. He tilted his head slightly. You pray against poverty, he said calmly, but you protect it. Her breath caught. For a second, she wondered if someone from church had sent him. This was mockery. You hide in comfort, he continued. You call it contentment. You call it faith. But you are afraid to grow. The words hit deeper than she wanted. I lost my job, she said defensively. What growth are you talking about? You lost your job, he replied. But you were already shrinking before that. Silence fell between them. Traffic passed. People walked around them. No one stopped. You give your last money, he said, glancing at the plate. But you refuse to learn how to keep money coming. She swallowed. I don't even have anything to build with anymore. You have hands. You have mind. You have opportunity. You ignore them. Her chest tightened. You think God abandoned you, he said gently now. But he was answering you before you fell. You didn't like the answer. Tears gathered in her eyes. What answer? She whispered. Work. Learn. Move. She stared at him. You pray, he continued. But you pray instead of moving. Pray and move. The words felt simple. Too simple. You must pray against the spirit of poverty, he said finally. Not just the condition. The spirit. She exhaled slowly. And how do I do that? She asked. Change your mind about earning, he said. Stop fearing growth. Stop hiding behind simplicity. The wind shifted slightly. For a moment she felt exposed. Not judged, exposed. She wiped her face quickly. I don't know where to start, she admitted. Start walking, he said. She blinked. I am walking, she replied. He shook his head lightly. No, start moving in your life. She stood there a second longer. Then she nodded. Not because she fully understood, but because something inside her knew he wasn't wrong. Without another word, she turned and began walking, step after step. Home was far, but for the first time since she lost her job, she wasn't only thinking about survival. She was thinking about change. Halfway down the road, her phone buzzed. She stopped. A notification. Money received. $500. Her heart skipped. She opened the message. It was from Adam. Another message followed. Looks like your God failed you. I had to come through. You should bow to me instead. She stared at the screen. Old Elia would have burned with anger, but something had shifted. She smiled faintly. God can use anyone, she whispered. She didn't reply. She slipped the phone back into her bag and kept walking. This time not just toward home. Elia did not spend the money that night. When she got home, she placed her bag on the table and sat quietly for a long time. The room was still. The small fan in the corner rotated slowly, pushing warm air around. She took out her phone again. $500. It felt unreal. She opened Adam's message again. Looks like your God failed you. I had to come through. She didn't feel angry. For once the words didn't sting. Instead she whispered softly, God forgive me. Her voice trembled. I accused you. She knelt beside her bed like she had done thousands of mornings before. But this prayer sounded different. Teach me to do the right thing with what you sinned. She stayed there for several minutes silent. No vision came. No voice. Just a quiet thought forming slowly. Use it. The next morning, Elia woke earlier than usual. Not to pray longer. To think. She sat by the window with a small notebook. Something she had not used in months. She wrote a single question at the top of the page. What can I do with $500? She stared at the words. First nothing came. Then slowly ideas began forming. Not from nowhere, but from things she had seen before and ignored. Perfume. Small imported perfume oils had always sold well around the parks and transport hubs. She had seen women selling them before. Small glass bottles. Strong scents. Cheap enough for people to try. She remembered watching one seller months ago. Customers would pass. The woman would spray a little on their wrist. Smell it, she would say. Half of them walked away. But some stopped. Some bought. Elia closed the notebook. The idea made her uncomfortable. Standing on the street? Approaching strangers? Convincing them to buy? Her old self resisted immediately. This is not you. But another voice inside her answered quietly. That is the point. 2 days later, Elia stood in a small wholesale market holding a cardboard box. Inside were 20 small bottles of perfume oil. Her hands trembled slightly as she counted the change left from the purchase. Not much remained. She carried the box home like it contained something fragile. Not perfume. Hope. The first day she went to the park, she almost turned back. People walked past quickly. Office workers, students, couples, vendors shouting their own products. Elia stood near a tree holding one bottle in her hand. Her throat felt dry. Say something. She opened the bottle slowly. A man passed.
Excuse me, sir. Finest perfume, only $5.
Sorry, I'm in a rush.
But it's a great deal.
The second person waved her away before she finished speaking. The third said, not interested. By midday, she had not sold a single bottle. Her feet hurt from standing. Her confidence felt smaller than when she arrived. But she stayed. Around mid-afternoon, a young woman stopped. How much? She asked. Elia blinked, surprised. $5. The woman smelled the sample on her wrist. It's nice, she admitted. She paid. Elia held the money like it was heavier than it should be. Her first sale. It wasn't much, but it was movement. The next day she returned. Then the next. Some days she sold 3 bottles. Some days none. Once, while walking through the market area with her box, she saw Rebecca. Rebecca was leaving a boutique store carrying a bag. Elia, she exclaimed, surprised. They hugged briefly. Rebecca noticed the box. What's this? Perfume, Elia replied simply. Rebecca opened one bottle and smelled it. It's actually nice, she said. She paid for one. But she didn't offer extra money. Didn't insist on helping further. I'm sorry things turned out that way at work, Rebecca said gently. But you're strong. You'll figure it out. Elia smiled. God will help. Rebecca nodded politely and left. Elia watched her walk into a large boutique store across the street. For a moment, something inside her twisted. Rebecca had applied for things. Rebecca had built something. And now Rebecca moved through spaces Elia once thought would come to her through prayer. The thought hurt, but Elia turned away. There were still bottles in her box. Later that week, while trying to convince a man in the park to smell the perfume, something happened that she would remember for years. The man stood tall, arms folded, looking irritated already. "Just try it," Elia said politely. He ignored her. She gently dabbed a small drop onto his wrist. "Smell."
How dare you?
I just wanted to sell to you.
People nearby glanced but kept walking. The man glared at her. "Why would you touch me?" he shouted. Tears rushed to her eyes. "You poor people are desperate," he continued loudly. "What were you doing when others were working? Now you harass people on the street." She held her cheek silently. No one intervened, until suddenly someone grabbed the man's collar.
What, Elia?
A fist struck his jaw. Hard. The man staggered backward. Another punch landed. People finally gathered. The two men struggled briefly before bystanders separated them. The stranger wiped blood from his lip and walked away angrily. Elia blinked through tears. The man who defended her stood there breathing heavily. Adam. He adjusted his shirt slowly, avoiding her eyes. He had been on his way to catch a shuttle when he saw the scene. Elia touched her cheek gently. "Why?" she began. He didn't answer immediately. "Are you okay?" he asked instead. She nodded. He looked at the perfume box, then back at her. "I'm sorry about what happened at work," he said quietly. "I wish you didn't leave like that." Before she could respond, he turned and walked away. She stood there a moment longer. Then she picked up her box. There were still bottles left to sell, and for the first time the work no longer felt humiliating. It felt necessary. Elia woke before sunrise the next morning. Her cheek still carried a faint tenderness from the slap. When she touched it, the skin felt slightly warm, but the pain had already begun to fade. The memory had not. She washed her face slowly and stood in front of the small mirror hanging beside her window. For a moment she studied herself. The woman looking back did not look defeated. Tired, yes. Embarrassed, maybe, but not defeated. That surprised her. A month ago, something like that might have broken her spirit completely. She might have returned home and spent hours asking God why humiliation seemed to follow her. Now the question forming in her mind was different. How do I sell more today? She tied her hair back, packed the perfume bottles carefully into her box, and stepped outside. The park had begun to recognize her, not by name but by presence. Vendors who sold roasted corn nodded when she passed.
Hey.
Hello, smells good, right?
Hey, need anything? All good, thanks.
"Perfume lady," someone called once jokingly. She smiled. The first sale that day came faster than usual. A young student stopped, curious. "Is it strong?" he asked. Elia opened one bottle and rubbed a small drop onto his wrist. "Wait a second," she said calmly. "Let it settle." He smelled it again. "It's good," he admitted. He paid. The next sale came 20 minutes later. Then another. By noon she had sold 5 bottles. She wrote the numbers in her small notebook. Bought 20. Sold today 5. It was not wealth, but it was progress. And progress felt different from waiting. 3 days later, while passing through the market again, she heard her name. Elia. She turned. Rebecca hurried toward her. "You disappeared," Rebecca said. "I'm working," Elia replied, lifting the box slightly. Rebecca smiled. "I heard." "You heard?" Rebecca nodded. "Word travels. Someone saw you selling perfume in the park." Elia expected pity. It didn't come. Instead, Rebecca said something unexpected. "That's actually smart." Elia blinked. "You think so?" "Yes. People underestimate small things." Rebecca leaned slightly closer. "Honestly, Elia, I wish you had taken some of those opportunities one shared earlier. You would be much further by now." The words were not cruel, but they landed heavily. Elia nodded slowly. "I know." Rebecca studied her face. "You're different," she said. "How?" "You're not waiting anymore." Elia smiled faintly. "I ran out of things to wait for." Rebecca laughed softly. Before leaving, she bought 2 more bottles. But this time she added something else. "If you ever want to learn online sales," Rebecca said, "I can show you a few basics." Elia did not say, "I'll pray about it." She said something else. "Teach me." Weeks passed. Elias' notebook began filling with numbers. Some days were slow, some days better. She reinvested every small profit. More bottles. Better scents. A small cloth display. She began approaching customers with more confidence. Not begging. Presenting. "Try this one," she would say calmly. "Give it a minute." The difference was subtle, but people noticed. One evening, as she was closing her box, her phone vibrated. Unknown number. She answered. "Elia?" The voice was hesitant. "Yes?" There was a pause. "It's Naomi." Elia felt her stomach tighten. For a moment neither spoke. Then Naomi exhaled slowly. "I owe you an apology." Elia said nothing. "You didn't lose your job because of Adam," Naomi continued quietly. Another silence. "What do you mean?" Elia asked slowly. Naomi's voice trembled slightly. "I recorded a conversation. The joke about the manager's bald head. I gave it to him." Elia closed her eyes. The memory flashed instantly. The laughter. The desk. The phone lying face down. "You set me up," Elia said softly. "I was jealous," Naomi admitted. "You were always praised. Compared to me." Naomi's voice cracked. "I thought removing you would make things easier." Elia leaned against the wall beside her bed. "And did it?" "No." Naomi's voice sounded smaller now. "I lost respect instead." She hesitated. "The manager actually asked about you recently." Elia frowned. What do you mean? He regrets how it happened, Naomi said quietly. He offered to let you return if you wanted. Elia stared at the wall. Return. A few months ago she would have run back without hesitation. Now the thought felt distant. I'm not coming back, she said calmly. Naomi sounded surprised. You're sure? Yes. After the call ended, Elia sat quietly for a long time. The anger she expected did not come. Instead she felt something unexpected. Relief. The mystery had an answer now. Adam hadn't destroyed her life. Naomi had. But strangely, Naomi had also pushed her towards something she might never have done otherwise. That night Elia wrote something new in her notebook. Prayer without movement kept me poor. She stared at the words, then added another line. God was answering me long before I started listening. She closed the notebook and placed it beside her bed. Outside, the night traffic hummed softly. Inside, something quiet had changed again. And somewhere in the city, Adam was still thinking about the woman who slapped him, and refused to disappear from his mind. 2 years changed more than Elia expected. Not suddenly, not through miracles, through repetition, through showing up every day whether sales were good or bad, through learning the small mathematics of survival. Buy low, sell steadily, reinvest immediately. Her perfume box became a small wooden display. The wooden display became a folding table. The folding table became a small stall. Rebecca helped her create a simple online page. At first Elia struggled with it. She had never sold anything through a phone before. But slowly she learned. Photos, descriptions, customer messages. Orders began coming from people she had never met. Some were small, some bigger. She kept a rule for herself. Never spend profit before replacing stock. The old Elia would have given freely without counting. The new Elia still gave, but she built first. Her prayer life changed too. She still prayed every morning, but the words were different. Lord, guide my decisions today. Not deliver me from poverty. Guide me. One afternoon her car stopped moving. She had bought the car only 6 months earlier. A small second-hand vehicle that helped her transport inventory between suppliers and the stall. Now it sat stubbornly on the roadside. The mechanic she called scratched his head. It will take time, he said. Better leave it here. Elia sighed. She checked her watch. She had a meeting across town. For the first time in months she would have to use public transport again. She walked toward the bus stop. It felt strange standing there after so long. Then a shuttle bus pulled over beside the curb. The driver leaned across and opened the door. Where are you going? He asked. Elia leaned slightly to answer. Then she froze. Adam? He looked just as surprised. Elia? For a moment they simply stared at each other. The city noise moved around them like water flowing around two stones. Finally Adam laughed quietly. Well, this is unexpected. Elia stepped into the shuttle slowly. You're driving? Adam nodded, pulling the vehicle back into traffic. For now. She studied him carefully. He looked the same, tall, confident, but calmer somehow. You own half the office building we worked in, she said. Why are you driving a shuttle? Adam smiled faintly. Long story. He kept his eyes on the road. Let's just say I had an argument with my father. A serious one. What about you? He asked after a moment. Still selling perfume? Elia smiled. Among other things. Oh, my brand has a small store now, she said. Adam glanced at her quickly, impressed. That's actually amazing. She shrugged lightly. I had to learn. He nodded slowly. I always thought you were stronger than you believed. She looked out the window. I wasn't strong, she said quietly. I was stubborn. Adam laughed softly. That too. After a few minutes of silence he spoke again. I found out what really happened at work. Elia turned slightly. Naomi told you? He nodded. I confronted the manager later. What did he say? That he regretted it. Adam paused. I told him if he ever treated employees like that again, he'd lose his job. Elia raised an eyebrow. You said that to him? Adam grinned. My father owns the company. She shook her head slowly. You really are spoiled. He laughed. Was. They reached her destination. The shuttle stopped. Elia gathered her bag. Before stepping out she turned back. Thank you, she said quietly. For the park. Adam looked confused. The day that man slapped me. His expression softened. Oh, that was nothing, he said. It wasn't nothing. She hesitated. And thank you for the $500. Adam blinked. You never replied. I didn't need to. He smiled slightly. I thought maybe you hated me. No, Elia said. She paused. I just needed to change my life first. For a moment neither spoke. Then she stepped down from the shuttle. Adam watched her walk away through the crowd. 2 years earlier she had walked away from the office with an envelope and a broken future. Now she walked with purpose. Adam leaned back in his seat. A quiet smile formed on his face. Still the same Elia, he murmured. But he was wrong. She was not the same. Not anymore. The city hummed in the early evening. Streetlights flickered on one by one, illuminating corners she had once passed with hesitation. Elia walked toward the small cafe where Adam had invited her. The perfume stall was closed for the day, but her small wooden display had grown into a modest shop a few blocks away. Boxes of perfume lined the shelves, each labeled with her brand, Elias Essence. She smiled as she passed. 2 years ago, she would have never imagined this. Inside the cafe, Adam was already waiting. He stood as she entered, handsome as ever, but his presence felt different, calm, grounded. Elia, he said softly. It's really good to see you. Adam, she replied, letting herself sit. She had chosen the cafe because it was quiet, away from the busy streets, a place where words could matter.
I want to apologize again for everything. The office never meant to hurt you. I just didn't know how to be honest about my feelings.
I know. I understand now. You weren't the enemy I thought you were.
I had my own battles too. My father wouldn't want anything. I never imagined I'd see you here thriving while I'm still in the way to prove myself.
I'm glad you're willing to make something of yourself, but please, stay in terms with your father.
Sure, he is always willing to help.
Adam, I need to tell you something important. About Naomi.
I heard a little. She reached out?
Yes, she apologized for everything, and that it caused me to lose my job.
I found out what really happened and I blame the manager. I actually expected you to return to the office.
Thank you, Adam. I'm not going back.
I realized something bigger. I realized waiting for God without action, without effort. That's how poverty lingers. I had faith, yes, but faith without work left me trapped. Now, in learning to balance both, Adam nodded slowly. You've grown, Elia. I see it in your eyes. She smiled softly, feeling the warmth of the moment. It's funny. I used to pray for God to save me, and he did, but he didn't save me from learning. He saved me to learn. He reached across the table, gently holding her hand. And now you've grown wiser, stronger, and still faithful. Elia's heart felt full. Yes, she whispered. Faithful, but smarter, and ready to steward what he's already given me. Adam's smile widened. I want to be part of your life now, if you'll let me. Elia laughed softly. You already are. 2 years ago I would have rejected you for all the wrong reasons. Now, I think I can accept you for who you are. The conversation shifted gently. They shared laughs, stories, and quiet reflections. Adam explained more about his father and the battle to carve his own path. Elia spoke of her journey, the lessons learned selling perfume, the emails, the orders, the reinvestment, the struggles, and the joy that came from seeing progress. Outside, the sun dipped low. The city's shadows grew long. Then her phone pinged. A message. It was Naomi. I am truly sorry. I see now how wrong I was. You are thriving. Keep shining. Elia smiled, typing back simply. Thank you. I forgive. God has been faithful. She put her phone down. Adam squeezed her hand gently. You've come a long way. Yes, she said softly, eyes meeting his. And I've learned something important. Prayer without action keeps poverty alive. Faith without effort keeps us waiting. God never abandoned me. I just had to walk step by step into the path he laid before me. Adam smiled, his eyes reflecting admiration and affection. I think I'm ready to walk it with you. Elia's lips curved into a smile. A full, confident smile, no longer tinged with doubt or fear. The city around them continued to hum, but for once the noise felt like music. The spirit of poverty had lost its grip, and Elia had learned to live in faith, action, and wisdom, receiving blessings that stayed because she had learned to steward them. Her journey had not been easy, but it had been faithful, and now finally she was free.